He that is down needs fear nor fall, but John Bunyan. He that is down needs fear nor fall, he that is low nor pride. He that is humble ever shall have God to be his guide. I am content with what I have, little be it or much, and Lord, contentment still I crave, because thou savest such. Fullness to such a burden is that go on pilgrimage. Here little and hereafter bliss is best from all to age. How graces are to be obtained, but John Bunyan. The next word that I would unto thee say, as how thou mayst attain without delay, O blessed grace and that holiness, thou dost with so much godly zeal express, the love to and the longing to enjoy, that sins and weakness might thee less annoy. Now, then, as I have hinted heretofore, and shall now speak unto a little more, our graces in the person of a Son are by the Father hid, and wherefore none can them obtain, and they who with them close. O lovers graceless are but only those. For of his fullness 'tis that we receive grace for grace. Let no man then deceive himself or others feign show of holiness, if Jesus' way is true. When he is candid to his Father, then it was that he received gifts from man. Faith, hope and love, true zeal, an upright heart, right humbleness of mind, and every part of what the word of life counts holiness, God then laid up in him that we redress, and help might have who do unto him fly, rightness and gospel sanctity. Love inducing Christian conduct, but John Bunyan. I understand my meaning by my words, a sense of mercy unto faith affords, of grace to sanctify and wholly make, that salvage of forgiveness doth partake. Thus having briefly showed you what is the way of life, or sanctity, of bliss, and wondered in conclusion have you think by what I say a Christian man should drink, and these my words of lightness or the way are now exempt from what every day their duty is. No, God doth still expect, yea, doth command, that they do not neglect to pray, to read, to hear, and to not dissent from being sober, grave, and diligent in watching, self-denial, and the fear to serve Him all the time thou livest here. Indeed I have endeavoured to lay before your eyes the right and only way, pardon to get, and also holiness, without which never think that God will bless thee with the kingdom He will give to those that Christ embrace, and wholly lives to choose to live, while here all others go astray, and shall in time to come be cast away. Meditation upon the day before the sun rising by John Bunyan. But all this while where's He whose golden rays drives the night away and beautifies our days? Where He is whose goodly face doth warm and heal, and shows what the darksome nights conceal? Where's He that before our eyes drives cold away? Let's have Him, or we care not for the day. But this the full partakers are of grace, there's naught to them like their Redeemer's face. A wondrous dreamer with the power divine, by John Bunyan. A wondrous dreamer with the power divine, are all our pilgrim life I dream half told, our Lord of sin, our hopes, our doubts so cold, we fearful battle with a foe malign, the beauteous land where none repine we long to see, we dare with joy be bold, while we with thee in living faith behold the new Jerusalem on high to shine. When as thou gaze beyond the gates that pass, which opened wide to let the pilgrims in, and thou didst feast thine eyes, oft filled with tears, then may we feel that thou couldst wish, alas, that thou hadst done with this world's care and sin, to rest amid that throng for endless years. Of godly fear, by John Bunyan. As godly fear delightful unto we, that fear that God Himself delights to see. Be a sway in them that love Him, when you will the godly mind and this request fulfill, by giving thee a fear that tremble shall at every trip thou takest, lest thou befall, and Him offend or hurt thyself by sin, or cause poor souls that always blind have been to stumble at their faults, and harder be against their own salvation and thee. With fear that of itself would rather choose the rod than to offend or to abuse, and anything will bless the worthy name that hath thee saved from the death and shame. But sin would soon have brought we to, if He had not imputed rightness to thee. I will love Him, save God, and not depart from them, but put my fears within their heart, that I to them may always lovely be, and that they never may depart from me. A Holiness of Life, by John Bunyan. Now, then, if holiness thou wouldst obtain, and wouldst a tender Christian man remain, keep faith in action, let it rightness that Christ fulfilled always have expressed, a clear distinction in the heart from all that man by Scripture or besides it call inherent gospel holiness, or what terms else they please to give it. For 'tis that, and that alone, in which all graces come into the heart, for else there is no room for aught but pride, presumption, or despair, nor love for other graces can beware. Receive due the Spirit, saith St. Paul, by hearing, faith, or works, not works, and shall to ways retain the same. Expect you do hear faith, embrace the same, and stick thereto. O man by nature, by John Bunyan. From God he's backslider, of ways he loves the wider, with wickedness a spider, more venom than a spider. And sin is a considerer, a make-bait and diviner. Blind reason is his guider, the devil is his rider. Of a Flie at the Candle, by John Bunyan. Had Isles with Flie was desperately to enter a combat with a candle, will she venture to clash at light? Away was silly Flie, was doing vow will burn the wings and die. It is a folly her advice to give, she'll kill the candle or she will not live. Slap, says she, at it when she makes retreat. So be it's about and over blows repeat. Not of a candle let her quiet escape, but give some little check unto the ape. For's upper heels a dove, so down she falls, as she lies sprawling and force calls. When she covers up she gets again, and the candle comes with might and main. Now behold, the candle takes the Flie and holds her, till she doth by burning die. This candle is an emblem of a light, our gospel gives in this our dark sunlight. The Flie a lively picture is of those that hate and do this gospel light oppose. At last the gospel doth became their snare, doth them with burning hands in pieces tear. Of the going down of the sun, by John Bunyan. What, hast thou run the race at going down? Or seemest angry, or darst on a throne? Yea, wrap thy head with clothes and hide thy face, as threatening to withdraw from us thy grace? Or leave us not, and once thou hitst the head, our rise of darkness will be spread. Tell who have you offended, turn again, alas too late, entreaties are in vain. Our gospel has had here a summer's day, but in its sunshine we, like fools, did play. Or else fell out, with each other wrangle, and did, instead of work, not much but jangle. Therefore a sun seems angry, hides his face, should go down, should night possess this place, and with the voice of night birds us afflict, nor for a misspent summer us convict. Of the love of Christ, by John Bunyan. The love of Christ, poor eye may touch upon, but 'tis unsearchable, or there is none its large dimensions can comprehend, should we dilate thereon the world without end. When he had sinned, in his zeal he swore, that he upon his back our sins would bear, and since unto sin is entailed death, he vowed for our sins he'd lose his breath. It did not only slay or resolve, but to an astonishment did so involve himself in man's distress and misery as for, and with him both to live and die. To his eternal flame and sacred story we find that he that lay aside his glory, stepped from the throne of highest dignity, became poor man, did in a manager lie. Yea, was beholden unto his for bread, had of his own not where to lay his head. Though rich, he did for us become thus poor, that he might make us rich for evermore. Nor was this but the least of what he did, at the outset of what he suffered. God made his blessed Son under the law, under the curse, which, like the lion's sport, it ran in tears soul for mankind's sin, more than if he for it in hell had been. His cries, his tears, and bloody agony, the nature of his death doth testify. Nor did he oft constrain himself thus give, for sin to death that men might with him live. He did do what he did most willingly, he sung and gave God thanks that he must die. But do kings used to die for captive slaves? Yet we were such when Jesus died to save's. Yet when he made himself a sacrifice, it was that he might save his enemies. And though he was provoked to retract his blessed resolve for such as so good an act, with abusive carriages of foes that did both him his love and grace oppose, yet he is unconcerned with such things, goes on, determines to make captives kings. Yea, many of his murderers he takes into his favour, and them princes makes. Of the mole in the ground, by John Bunyan. The mole's a creature very smooth and slick, she digs with dirt, but will not on her stick. So he who counts this world his greatest gains, yet nothing gets but labours for his pains. Earth's the mole's element, she can't abide to be above ground, dirt heaps are her pride. And he's like her who the worldlings place, he imitates her in her work and ways. Poor silly mole, that thou shouldst love to be where thou nor sun, nor moon, nor stars can see. But oh, how silly is he who doth not care, so he gets earth to have of heaven a share. Of a rose bush, by John Bunyan. This homely bush doth to mine eyes expose a very fair yea, comely ruddy rose. This rose doth also bow its head to be, saying, Come, pluck me, I thy rose will be. And offer I together rose to bud, 10 to 1, but the bash will have my blood. This looks like a trap or decoy, to offer and yet snap who would enjoy. Yet the more eager on, the more in danger, be he the master of it or a stranger. Bush, why does it be a rose if none must have it? Who dost expose it, yet clovers that crave it? Art become freakish, does the wanton play, or doth thy testy humour tend its way? This rose God's son is with his ruddy looks. But what's the bush, whose pricks like tender hooks to scratch and claw the finest lady's hands, or rend her clothes, if she too near it stands? This bush an emblem is of Adam's race, of which Christ came when he his Father's grace commanded to us in his crimson blood, while he in sinner's stead and nature stood. Was Adam's race did bear his dainty rose, and of the same to Adam's race expose. And those of Adam's race which at it catch, Adam's race will them prick, and claw and scratch. Of Uprightness and Sincerity by John Bunyan. Wouldst thou be very upright and sincere, wouldst thou be within thou dost appear, or seem to be in outward exercise before the most devoted and godly wise? Yea, art thou thus when no eye doth see but that which is invisible, and be the words of God and truth a prop and stay? Do they in their conscience bear more sway to govern thee in faith and holiness, and thou canst with heart and mouth express? And do the things that truly are divine before we mourn when gold or rubies shine? And if, as unto Solomon, God should propound to thee, what wouldst thou have? How would the heart and pulse beat after heavenly things, after the upper end that never springs? Couldst with unfeigned heart and upright lip cry, hold me fast, Lord, never let me slip, nor step aside from faith and holiness, nor from the blessed hope of future bliss? Lord, rather cross me anywhere than here, Lord, fill me always with a holy fear, and godly jealousy of mine own heart, lest I, Lord, should at any time depart from the most blessed covenant of grace, where Jesus rules as King, and where the face is only to be seen with comfort, and where sin is justified before we stand. If these thy groanings be sincere and true, if God doth count thee one that dost pursue the things thou criest after with a heart, no doubt but in them thou should have part. And Promising Fruitfulness of a Tree by John Bunyan. O comely sight indeed it is to see a bud of blossoms on an apple tree. Yet far more comely would this tree appear if all its dainty blooms young apples were. And how much more might one upon it see, if all would hang there till they ripe should be. But most of all in beauty 'twould abound, if then none worm-eaten should there be found. But we, alas, too commonly behold blooms fall apace, if mornings be but cold. They too, which hanged their young apples are, by blasting winds and vermin take despair, stalwart to hang, were almost ripe, we see by blustering winds are shaken from the tree, suffered of many, only some there be, that grow till they come to maturity. This tree a perfect emblem is of those, which God doth plant, which in his garden grows, is blasted blooms to motions and to good, which chill affections do nip in the bud. Those little apples which yet blasted are, show some good purpose, no good fruits bear. For spoiled by vermin are to let us see, a good attempts but bad faults in ruin be. Those which the wind blows down, while they are green, show good works, have by trial spoiled been. Those that abide, while ripe upon the tree, shown a good man some ripe fruit will be. Behold then how abortive some fruits are, which at the first most promising appear. The frost, the wind, the worm, with time doth show their flowers, for much appearance works but few. On the Cackling of a Hen by John Bunyan. The hen, so soon as she an egg doth lay, spreads the fame of her doing what she may. About the yard she cackling now doth go, to tell what 'twas as she at her nest do. Just thus it is with some professing men, if they do aught that good is, like a hen, they can but cackle on't where'er they go. What the right hand doth, the left hand must know. On the Rising of the Sun by John Bunyan. Look, look, brave soul, doth peep up from beneath, shows us his golden face, doth on us breathe. He also doth compass us around with glories, whilst he ascends up to his highest stories, where his banner over us displays, and gives us light to see our works and ways. Nor are we now, as at the peep of light, to question, is it day or is it night? When night is gone, the shadows fled away, and we know most sure are that it is day. Our eyes behold and our hearts believe it, nor can the wit of man deceive it. And thus it is when Jesus shows his face, and doth assure us of his love and grace. The Fowls Flying in the Air by John Bunyan. Methinks I see a sight most excellent, all sorts of birds fly in the firmament, some great, some small, all of diverse kind, one eye affecting pleasure to my mind. Look how they tumble in the wholesome air, above a world of worldlings and their care. As diverse are in bulk and hue, so are they in the way of flying too. So many birds, so many various things, tumbling in the element upon the wings. These birds are emblems of those men that shall long possess the heavens, their all in all. They are each of their worst shape and kind, to teach we of all nations where shall find. There are some great, some little as we see, to show some great, some small and glory be. They're flying diversely as we behold, to show saints' joys, though there be manifold. Some glide, some mount, some flutter, and some do, and a mixed way of flying glory too. And all to show each saint to his content shall roll and tumble in the firmament. The Necessity of a New Heart by John Bunyan. Now wouldst thou have a heart that tender is, a heart that forward is to close with bliss, a heart that will impressions freely take of a new covenant, and will make the best improvement of the word of grace, where to the wickedness will not give place. All this is in the promise, and it may obtain be of them that humble pray. Wouldst thou enjoy that spirit that is free, and lose the foes that in the spirits be, oppressed with guilt, filth, or unbelief? That spirit that will where dwells be chief, which breaketh Samson's cord as rotten thread, and raised up the spirit that is dead, that sets the will at liberty to choose those things that God hath promised to infuse. To the humble heart, all this I say, the promise holdeth out to them that pray. The Operation of Faith by John Bunyan. A word of faith unto me pardon brings, shows me the ground and reason whence it springs. It awaits free grace, to move God to give His Son to die and bleed, that I might live. With the word though also loudly preached to me, though I am a miserable sinner be. Yet in the Son of God I stand complete, whose rightness is without all deceit. 'Tis that which God Himself delighteth in, and that by which all have saved been. The Spirit of Prayer by John Bunyan. Wouldst thou have that good, that blessed mind, that is so much to heavenly things inclined, and it aloft will soar, and always be contemplation of blessed eternity? That mind that never thinks itself at rest, and when it knows it is forever blessed. That mind that can be here no more content, than he that in the prison doth lament. That blessed mind that counts itself when free, and it can at the throne with Jesus be. There to behold the mansions he prepares, for such as be with him at his coerce. This mind is in the covenant of grace, and shall be theirs that truly seek his face. Upon a Looking Glass by John Bunyan. In this sea, though thy beauty hast thou any, or thy defects, should there be few or many. Thou mayst too here thy spots and freckles see, hast thou but eyes, and what their numbers be, but art thou blind, there's no looking glass can show thee thy defects, thy spots, or face. Unto this glass we may compare the word, for that to man advantage doth afford. Has he a mind to know himself and state, to see what will be his eternal fate? And without eyes, alas, how can he see? Many that seem to look here blind men be. This is the reason they so often read the judgment there, and do it nothing dread. Upon a Lowering of Morning by John Bunyan. Well, the day I see the clouds appear, makes the light with darkness everywhere. As threatening as the travellers that go long journeys, as heavy rain will have, or snow, else will I gaze, the sun doth with his beams ballast the clouds, as to the bloody streams. 'Tis done, they suddenly to watery grow, and weep and pour their tears out where they go. Thus 'tis when gospel light doth usher in to us both sense of grace and sense of sin. Even it makes sin red with Christ's blood, and it can weep till weeping does us good. Upon a Penny Loaf by John Bunyan. The price 1 penny is in time of plenty, in famine doubled. 'Tis from 1 to 20. Yea, no man knows what price on thee to set, when there's but 1 penny loaf to get. This loaf's an emblem of the word of God, a thing of low esteem before the rod, of famine smites the soul of fear of death, and when it is or life or breath. Upon a Sheet of White Paper by John Bunyan. The subject is unto the foulest pen, or fairest handled by the sons of men. To also show what is upon it writ, be it wisely or nonsense for word of wit. Each blot and blur it also will expose to the next readers, be their friends or foes. Some souls are like unto this blank or sheet, though not in whiteness. The next man they meet, if wise or fool, debauched, deluder, or what you will, a dangerous intruder may right go on, to cause that man to earn doctrine or in life of blot and blur. Nor will it so conceal from who observes, but show how fool it is wherein it swerves. A reading man may know who was the writer, and by the hellish nonsense be indicted. Upon the Apparel by John Bunyan. God gave us clothes to hide our nakedness, and we by women do expose to view. Our pride and unclean minds to an excess, by our apparel we to others shew. Upon Fire by John Bunyan. Who falls into the fire shall burn the feet, are those who most scorn from it to retreat. Ye will boasten and cry out o'er burn, some father offers Christ to laugh at her. But some tormented are in hell for sin, on earth some greatly do delight therein. Yet will some make it echo with a cry, others count it a fable and a lie. Upon overmuch niceness, but John Bunyan. 'Tis much to see how over nice some are about body and household affair, or what's of worth they slightly pass it by, nor doing or doing it slovenly. The house must be well furnished, be a print meanwhile where soul lies laid, has no good in't. Its outside also they must beautify, and in it there's scarce common honesty. What is we must have checked up and trim, whence it full of filth, but to the brim. Upon their clothes there must not be a spot, but in their lives more than one common blot. How nice, how coy are some about their diet, that can their crying souls of hawks make quiet. Or dress must too be heavy, else 'tis naught, and of living bread they have no thought. Thus for their outside they are clean and nice, and their poor inside stinks of sin and vice. Upon the bee, but John Bunyan. The bee goes out and honey home doth bring, and some who seek that honey find a sting. Now wouldst thou have the honey, and be free from stinging, first place, kill the bee. This be an emblem truly as of sin, whose sweet unto many death hath been. Now wouldst have sweet from sin yet not die, do thou it in the first place mortify. Upon the beggar, by John Bunyan. He wants, he asks, he pleads his poverty. They within doors to him an alms deny. He doth repeat and aggravate his grief, and they repulse him, give him no relief. He begs, they say, be gone. He will not hear, but calls, sighs, and makes signs he still is there. They disregard him, he repeats his groans, we still say nay, and he himself bemoans. A groan more rugged, they call him vagrant, he cries shriller, trumpets out his wound. At last, when they perceive he'll take no nigh, and alms they give him without more delay. This beggar doth resemble them that pray to God for mercy and will take no nigh, or they wait and count that all his heart gainsays are nothing else but fatherly delays. Then imitate him, praying souls and cry, there's nothing like to importunity. Upon the fish in the water, by John Bunyan. The water is a fish's element, take her from whence, and none can her death prevent. And some have said, who have transgressors been, as good not be, as to be kept from sin. Water is a fish's element, leave her but there, and she's well content. So's he, on the path of life doth plod, take all, says he, and let me but have my God. Water is a fish's element, her sportings there to her are excellent, as God's service unto holy men, why not in the element then? Upon the frog, by John Bunyan. A frog by nature is both damp and cold. Her mouth is large, her belly much will hold. She sits somewhat as scanning, loves to be croaking in gardens, though unpleasantly. The portrait is like unto this frog, as like as the puppy to the dog. He's of nature cold, his mouth is wide to prate, and add true goodness to deride. He mounts his head as if he was above the world, and yet it is that which has his love. And though he seeks in churches for to croak, and never loveth Jesus nor his yoke. Upon the hourglass, by John Bunyan. This glass when made was with a workman's skill some of 60 minutes to fulfill. Time more nor less by it will out be spun, but just an hour and when the glass is run. Man's life he will compare unto this glass, the number of his months he cannot pass, and when he has accomplished his day, he like a vapour vanisheth away. Upon the Lord's Prayer, John Bunyan. Our Father which in heaven art, thy name be always hallowed. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, thy heavenly path be followed, as on earth as 'tis we humble pray. And let our bread us given be from day to day. Forgive our debts as we forgive those that to us indebted are. Into temptation lead us not, but save us from a wicked snare. The kingdom's thine, the power too, we adore. The glory also shall be thine for evermore. Upon the Sacraments, by John Bunyan. To Sacraments I do believe they be baptism and the supper of the Lord, both mysteries divine which do to me by God's appointment benefit afford. And should they be my God, or should I have of them so full and pious a thought, to think that from the curse they can be safe, bread, wine, nor water me no ransom bought. Upon the sight of a pound of candles falling to the ground, by John Bunyan. But be the candles down and scattered too, some lying here, somewhere, what shall we do? Hold, light the candle there that stands on high, and you may find the other candles by. Light that, I say, and so take up the pound you did let fall and scatter on the ground. The fallen candles do us intimate the bulk of God's elect and their lapsed state. Where lying scattered in the dark might be to show by man's lips state his misery. The candle that was taken down and lighted, whereby to find them fallen and benighted, is Jesus Christ. God by his light doth gather who he will save and be unto a father. Upon the skilful play of an instrument, by John Bunyan. He that can play well on an instrument will take the ear and captivate the mind with mirth and sadness. For that it is bent thereto, is music in that place to find. And if one hears that have they no skill, as of music lights of such a chance, off its brave notes they soon be very well, and there some can neither sing nor dance. And to him that thus skilfully doth play, God doth compare gospel minister, that rightly preaches and doth godly pray, applying truly what doth whence infer. This man, whereof for grace he preach, so skilfully doth handle the word, and by saying doth the heart so reach, that it doth joyous sigh before the Lord. But some there be which, as the brood, doth lie under the word, without the last advance Godward. Such do despise the ministry, they weep not at it, neither to it dance. Upon the sun's reflection upon the clouds in a fair morning, by John Bunyan. Look yonder are, methinks, mine eyes to see clouds eager with silver, as fine garments be. They look as if they saw that golden face that makes black clouds most beautiful with grace. And of the saints' sweet incense of their prayer, these smoke-curdled clouds I do compare. For as these clouds seem edged or laced with gold, their praise return with blessings manifold. Upon the Wine Tree, by John Bunyan. What is the wine more than another tree, nay most than it more tall, more comely be? What workman winds will take a beam or pin to make aught which may be delighted in? Its excellence in its fruit doth lie, a fruitless wine, it is not worth a fly. What professes more than other men? Nothing at all, nay, there's not 1 in 10. I've wealth for wit that may compare in many things with some that carnal are. Good are they mortify their sin, without that they are not worth a pin. Upon Time and Eternity, by John Bunyan. Eternity is like unto a ring, time, like to measure, doth itself extend. Measure commends is a finite thing, ring is no beginning, middle, end. Who would True Valour See, by John Bunyan. Who would True Valour See, let him come hither, when he will constant be, come wind, come weather. There's no discouragement shall make him once relent his first avowed intent to be a pilgrim. Whoso beset him round with dismal stories, do but themselves confound, his strength the more is. No lion can him fright, he'll with a giant fight, but he will have the right to be a pilgrim. Hobgoblin nor fool fiend can daunt his spirit, he knows yet the end shall life inherit. If fancies fly away, he'll fear not what men say, he'll labour night and day to be a pilgrim.